In this particular lecture, let's go ahead and design the functionality to allow users to change their passwords. So in order to design any functionality, we obviously need a view, we need a URL pattern, we need a template. That's all we have to do in order to do that. And as I earlier mentioned, as we had the login and logout view, which we had used from the django.contrib.auth, we also have some of the views from this particular package, which are the password change view as well, which means that you don't have to go ahead and write a whole bunch of view in order to change your password. Instead, what you could simply do is that you could simply go ahead and make use of the password change view in order to change the password. So let's go ahead and let's learn how to implement that. So the password change view is actually present in the django.contrib.auth package. And now you simply have to go ahead, make use of that particular view up over here. So let's say I want to create a path to change the password, and let's say the user has to type in password_change in order to access that view. So I'll add this thing up over here, and then I would say auth view. And from the auth view, I want to use the password change view. So as soon as you type a dot here, you'll be able to see the password change view right up over here. So here it says password change view. As usual, we will say this is as_view, and we should be good to go. Now let's also give it some name. So I'll give a comma and add a name here, and let's call this thing as password change itself. So password_change. Give a comma at the end. Okay, so now once this particular view is associated with this particular URL pattern, now you also actually need to go ahead and create a template for this as well. So right now what happens is that if you try visiting this URL, so let's try visiting that, which is password_change. As you can see, you will be redirected to the admin panel's template right up over here, and we don't want that. Instead, what we want to do is that we actually want to render our very own form with our very own theme. And therefore, in order to do that, I'll go ahead and create a new form which is called as password change form. So here, I'll go ahead and go to the templates in the users app, create a new file and call it as password_change_form.html. And in this particular HTML file, I'll first of all make this thing extend from the base template. So here I will add the regular template syntax. I would say this extends from users/base.html, then have the block body and end block tags. And over here, we simply have to go ahead and pass in the form. So here I'll create a form. And this form is going to have a method which is post. So I would say form method is going to be equal to post. And I simply have to render the form over here. So I would say form.as_p, and before that have a CSRF token. So here I would say CSRF_token. And also we need to type in an input field as well. And here this input field is going to say something like input type equals submit. Okay, so now once this thing is done, let's go back here, and to this I have to pass in the template name as well. So template_name is going to be nothing but it's going to be users/ that's going to be password change form.html. So password change form.html. So once I go back up over here, as you can see, now it will basically go ahead and present us with this particular form right here, which is our own form, which we could style as per our own needs. So once this thing is done, let's now try changing the password of the super user. So once we are here, let's type in the old password. So the old password is super user. Let's say the new password is test123. Let's type in the new password one more time, test123. Now if I hit submit, now it will actually go ahead and give us an error here, because whenever the password change process is complete, we have to render another view which we have to create. But first let's ensure if the password has been changed. So let's try logging in with the older password. So let's try logging in. I will type in my older password here, which is super user Now it says invalid credentials. Now let's try logging in with a newer password, which is test123. Click on submit and it says user authenticated and logged in, which means that the password change functionality is working well. But now the only problem is that whenever we go ahead and whenever we change the password, the page which we are getting or the view which we are getting is not defined. So that view needs to be defined as well, and that view is nothing but it's called as the password change done view. So let's set that thing up over here. So here I would say path, and this path is going to be for password change done. So I would say password change / done. Let's say this is the view which we want to visit, and then I would say auth view dot password change done view instead of password change view. Simply say as _ view. Let's give it a name. Let's say name is going to be nothing but password change done. So password change done. Give a comma and we should be good to go. Let's try changing the password. So let's say the old password is test123. Let's say the new password is superuser123 superuser123. Let's try hitting submit, and as you can see now it says password change successful. And again, here we actually have this Django admin template, and if we want to replace it with our own template, we have to actually go ahead and create our own template. So let's do that. So let's go back here, create a new template called as password _change _done.html, and in here we want to extend from the base template. So in order to keep things simple, I'll go ahead, I'll use the code which we have up over here, which is in the index page. So I'll copy this, I'll go to the password change done, paste it up over here, and I'll simply say password change successfully. Save this, and now once we have created this particular template, we now have to pass this template to the view, and the view is actually defined in the urls.py file. So let's go to the urls.py file up over here, and here I have to pass in the template name. So template name as nothing but users / password change done.html. So if I do that, let's see if that functionality works. So here I'm actually onto the password change. So let me type in the old password. And let me type in the new password as superuser321 superuser321. And now if I click on submit, as you can see, now instead of getting the by default page from Django admin, we instead get our very own custom template which we have defined up over here. So this is how the password change functionality works. So that's it for this lecture, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.